Hello everyone, it's Phil here from One-to-One IELTS, and today's lesson is going to be focusing on reading. In particular, we are going to be looking at the yes, no, not given type of question that you commonly find in the reading exam. Today I'm going to show you a much quicker strategy than many teachers often suggest their students follow. We're going to get rid of a lot of unnecessary reading, and this is hopefully going to mean that you're going to have a little bit more time to answer the question. You'll be happy to know that I've come up with a way of doing these which does not involve skimming. I think this is going to be a much quicker strategy than you're used to. As always with reading questions, remember, until you've mastered the strategies, go slowly. Once you can get the scores you want going slowly, then we speed up. But trying to apply these strategies in exam conditions at the beginning is a really bad way to practice. So learn the strategy, go slowly. Once you can get the scores you want going slowly, then you introduce time. Very first part of this strategy is instructions. It's always instructions. You've got to make sure if it's a yes, no, not given, true, false, not given. We have to see, are we saying yes, no, not given, or YN, NG? Also really important, if the instructions say write YN or NG, then you just write letters. If the instructions say write yes, no, not given, you must write yes, no, not given. If you don't follow the instructions, all of your answers will be wrong. It's an easy thing to check, but really, really important. And now for everything else, we are going to go question by question. So we're not going to look at all of the questions and then go to the text. It takes too long. We end up forgetting about what we were thinking about when we first looked at the question. It's not an efficient way to go. We can look at the next question, and actually, especially with yes, no, not given, and this strategy applies for true, false, not given as well. We do want to have a look at the following question too, because if you have a not given answer, you're not going to find it in the text. So it's good to know if you can find the next question, it's an indicator that maybe the one before it was not given. Then as I said, we're going to do this question by question. So we're not going to look at the text first. We're just going to go straight to the questions. We're going to understand the question statements, identify the keywords, predict synonyms. So one question at a time. Then we're going to read the text as quickly as possible. Stop when reaching keywords or synonyms. This is not skimming. We're not just looking for one word. We are reading all of the text as quickly as we can. That means you have to be able to process it. You're reading quickly, but not too quickly. You've got to actually be able to understand what's coming. With these yes, no, not given questions, they're all in order. So we're going to use that to our advantage because we know that once we find question 1, we know question 2 has to be after that, and subsequently question 3 or question 4 after that. So we're going to read the text. When we find the keywords or synonyms, we're going to focus on the details, check there's no distractors, match our answers. If we come to the next answer, we're just going to mark the previous one as not given and move on for now. We're going to repeat this for all the questions, and then the ones that you couldn't find answers for, because we're going to know where they are in the text. We're going to know the question before and question after because of these questions being in order. We'll go back, have a second look. If we can't find anything in the text, we've got to trust ourselves and we just state not given if we can't find any information in the text to support the yes, no, not given. So step 1 is simply check the instructions, make sure yes, no, not given, and are we writing yes, no, not given or YN, NG. So our question today here. So step 1, what are we writing? Whole word, singular word, is it yes, no, not given, or true, false, not given? Okay, it's definitely yes, no, not given, and we're writing the full word. Here, Tamara mentioned in capitals. In your reading and your listening, capital letters don't actually matter. So you could write this in lowercase, you could write this in capital letters. In your reading and listening, capitals don't matter, but we do have to make sure that we're answering the question in full. Step 2, look at the first 2 questions. We need to understand the statement, find keywords, and think of obvious synonyms. We're not going to spend too much time on synonyms. Keywords is the most important thing, but we are going to try and think of any synonyms that come to mind. So 32. One reason for high staff turnover in the hospitality industry is poor morale. So what do you think are important words here? Reason, staff turnover, morale, yep. Hospitality, I think, industry is also important. What kind of words could we think for synonyms here? So if we see reason, what word often comes up for reason? So why, cause, or result. High staff turnover as a result of poor morale. High staff turnover, what could we, what does it mean? So Maitreya said revenue. So turnover, staff turnover doesn't mean revenue. It means lots of people changing jobs. So resigning, quitting, changing jobs. So these are some ideas. Okay, whatever comes to mind. With the synonyms, we're not going to spend a lot of time. Whatever you can think of, activate your brain. This is kind of what we're going to be looking for. And then we're going to have a quick look at the second question, because we want to see if when reading we come to the second question without seeing the first question. Okay, the first one's probably not given. Research has shown that staff have a tendency to dislike their workplace. So what are key words here? Research, definitely. Dislike. Workplace, yeah. Staff, definitely, who are doing the action. And then what could be some synonyms? So research, what might come up here? Studies, yeah. Staff, employees. Tomorrow I mentioned findings for research. I think that's also good, yeah. Dislike, do not like, maybe unhappy. I think we've got the main words here. So obviously we're focusing more on this first one, but it's always good to have a look here. And we need to do this anyway when we look for 33. So this is our kind of backup plan in the case we don't find it. Are we likely to find the first question towards the beginning or towards the end of the text? Yeah, most likely it's going to be around the start of the text. So the first few paragraphs, most probably. As it's going to be in order, this tends to be quite early on in the text. Remember, this is the one that we're focusing on the most at the moment. So our key words are, we're looking for reason, staff turnover, and morale. If we can find these words, that's going to really help us. And then I'm going to throw it over to you guys to have a look at the text. So remember, read everything. So we're going to go through each line as quickly as you can process it, and just look for one of those keywords. When you found a word that you think is going to help you, tell me the paragraph and the line. So I'm going to wait for everyone to give me an answer, then we'll move on. Okay, so I've got lots of people saying paragraph 4 and employee turnover. So definitely we had the word turnover. When I did this myself, I just went through everything. I'm like, okay, there's nothing about employee turnover here. Don't see anything here. Employee development, nope. Hospitality industry, so that word's come up, but nothing here. High employee turnover. Aha. Okay, so this is ringing a bell. It's like staff turnover, employee turnover. Now let's slow down and read in detail. In addition, or maybe as a result, we mentioned this before as well, there's a result. The high employee turnover has been a recurring problem. Hospitality industry, oh, that was another key word. Great. Let's keep reading till we get all the information. The reason, so that's what we were looking for. Compromised employee morale and attitudes. Aha. So the reason for high employee turnover is poor, compromised morale. And remember, we're doing a yes, no, not given. So do the following statements. Agree with the claims of the writer. So we've got to make sure we're going with a yes. So one reason for high staff turnover is poor morale. Definitely agrees with the claims of the writer. Yes, we know that the next questions have to be after this fourth paragraph. Now what we do is we simply repeat. So 33, we already did this. Let's copy and paste our ideas here. So we said research is a keyword, dislike is a keyword, staff is a keyword, workplace is a keyword. Another word for research could be studies. For staff, employee, unhappy, dislike, workplace, work maybe. We've got this, we've done that bit already, but we're also going to have a look at 34 just in case we can't find this. An improvement in working conditions and job security make staff satisfied with their jobs. So what are the key words here for 34? So the key words here would probably be improvement, working conditions. So it's not just in working conditions and job security. So these need to be together. So this is something that maybe we get tricked on. It only mentions working conditions or job security. Make staff satisfied. So again, staff we're talking about satisfied. Or be some synonyms we could find for this. So again, staff, we've got employees. Working conditions, job security. They seem like keywords. I can't think at the moment of an obvious synonym, so we're just going to look for those. Satisfied, happy. Yeah, we're not spending too much time on this. Remembering, this is also our second idea that we're coming up with. So the first one is the one that we're really focusing on. So we're going to go back to the text, looking for research about staff disliking their workplace. And let's have a look at our next few paragraphs. Can you find anything that says, and again, we're going to go from start to finish, read it as quickly as possible, but you're looking for research, staff, and unhappy. One line at a time. Paragraph 2. It seems like the employee's reactions to their job characteristics could be affected by a predisposition to view their work environment negatively. Oh, they view their work environment negatively. They dislike. That definitely looks like we've got one keyword. Is it the staff? Yep, employees, the staff. So we've got two of our keywords. Their work environment, their workplace. We've got three of our keywords. Have we got anything about research? No evidence exists to support this hypothesis. So we've got everything here. We've got something talking about research. We've got something talking about dislike, something talking about staff, and something talking about workplace. So remember, we want to find all of the keywords, not just one of them. We want to be able to tick off all of our keywords. So we've definitely found the right area. So let's quickly go back to the question to look for the details. It says, research has shown staff have a tendency to dislike their workplace. Does this agree with the claims of the writer, or does this contradict? Contradicts the claims of the writer? No. We know now that this is the last part, so our next answers have to be after this. We're going to repeat the process. 34 we've already looked at. Copy these keywords over. Obviously, you don't have to do this in the exam because you just have the same piece of paper. So 34 says, an improvement in working conditions and job security makes staff satisfied with their jobs. So we're really looking for working conditions and job security. That's going to be a big key feature. Satisfied or happy, and an improvement. So improvement in these two things makes staff happy. And then 35, have a look at quickly, just in case we go past it. Staff, keyword, should be allowed, choose, when. So basically, we're looking for something about taking breaks. So if we come across something that talks about breaks, we know we've gone too far. We're not focusing too much on this, but we are looking at the real key here. So taking breaks. If there's something about taking breaks, we know we've gone too far. Back to looking for this one. Remember, an improvement in working conditions and job security makes staff satisfied. Can you find something that talks about working conditions and job security? And again, just go line for line. So as quickly as you can, looking for these kind of keywords, working conditions, job security. If you're doing this on a computer, use a mouse to help you read along with a mouse. If you're doing this on a piece of paper, use your finger. And it's just going to keep you on the right place. So for me, doing exactly this, I don't know if you've been following my mouse as I go along, I've just been looking for working conditions and job security, and boom. Okay, working conditions and job security. This tells me the area we're looking for. We've got the area. Now we're going to stop there and pay attention to all of this. So Hertzberg proposes that people have two major types of needs. The first being extrinsic motivating factors, big fancy vocabulary we don't need to understand yet, relating to the context rather than the work. These include working conditions and job security. When these factors are unfavorable, job dissatisfaction may result. Let's quickly go back to our question. An improvement in work conditions and job security makes staff satisfied. So we're looking about improving them, not about what makes them unsatisfied. Significantly though, just fulfilling these needs does not result in satisfaction, only a reduction in dissatisfaction. By fulfilling the needs for working conditions and job security, it does not result in satisfaction. So what is our answer? No. Okay, so we've got 3 of our 4 answers so far. We're going to repeat one last time. This time we don't need to look for a second one because this is going to be the very last one. Without even reading the question, what do you think there is a good chance this answer could be? Tamara says not given. Yeah, everyone says not given. The reason being, they love to give you not given questions. It's one of those, the reasons they give you these yes, no, not givens is they know students hate not given. If we haven't had not given already, in my mind, I'm thinking there is a very, very good chance that this one's going to be not given. It's nice to predict what our answer is. We don't know yet. Every single answer could be yes. Every single answer could be no, or every single answer could be not given. We don't know, but it's always good to have that in mind of, okay, they haven't given me a not given question yet. There's a good likelihood. So again, we're going to look at these keywords. We've got staff, when to take breaks. So taking breaks is probably going to be the key word. I can't imagine there's many synonyms for this, so we're just looking for the word break. So we go back to our text. Can you find the word break? And anyone who's watching this as a video and you're watching my cursor, this is the speed that I personally am going through this text. So for me, I'm taking in the information, but I'm really looking for a keyword. And like I said, if you don't have a computer, you're doing this in person, then you can use your finger to do exactly the same thing. We've got this. And finally, we find the word breaks. We go back to the beginning of the sentence and let's read it in detail. Those particularly appropriate to the hospitality industry include allowing adequate breaks. So allowing breaks. Can we have a quick look at the question again? Staff should be allowed to choose when they take breaks. So not if they can take breaks, but when they can take breaks. So we've got to find something talking about them choosing the time of their breaks. So allowing breaks. Staff functions involve families providing health, well-being opportunities. Is there anything in this paragraph talking about when staff should take breaks? Not mentioned. So we already thought it's probably not given. We found the area of the text. We found there's like a distractor. They've given us breaks, but they haven't given us when. So they should allow a reasonable size, but it's not saying employees should choose the time. There's nowhere here that says they should be allowed to choose their breaks in the morning. They should be allowed to choose their breaks in the afternoon. They should be allowed to choose their breaks in the evening. There's no mention of when they should be allowed. At this point, you should be going back to your question, just making sure staff should be allowed. So we're saying, okay, you can choose when, the time of your breaks. And there's no mention of that. Not given. Then our final step is double check not given answers. We just did that. So our answers overall, 32, yes. 33 was no. 34 was no. 35 was not given. And I think everyone found those questions pretty quickly today.